man, two musicians that make music under the name Chevelle are with us, Sam and Pete. What's up, gents?
Hey, we're here.
Thank you for saving, single-handedly save. Did 2021 need saving? Because you guys are doing it, because you've got something that you're going to present to us on March 5th, and I cannot wait.
It's funny. We were surprised by how good it felt to put music out. It actually was like gave us like a little bit of hope for just a very stagnant 2020.
Yeah.
We actually were trying to put it out, in summer of 2020, but we hit some roadblocks with scheduling and differing, opinions, things like that. So we settled on, beginning of 21. And once we dropped that first single and video, it felt great. It was like hope. Yeah.
It's cool because when one of my favorite bands drops new music after, well, I'll use the band Chevelle as the example. After you guys have kind of been under the radar for a couple of years, and then all of a sudden you just pop your head up with a brand new song, and I'm like, oh, so this is what they sound like. And it's like, Self-Destructor is such a badass song, and the video to match. I'm excited to hear the rest of the record, and I cannot wait for that. Let's talk about Self-Destructor, and can we talk about that pickup truck in the video? Tell me that's one of your vehicles.
It is.
Stop.
Yeah.
Look at my eyes. Can you see you've captivated me?
So this place called the Roadster Shop, where we live in Illinois, not the same town, but in Illinois, they built it, and they make some crazy cool shit, just some of the coolest stuff. And actually, coincidentally, we're here in Austin with those guys, and they brought some cars down for, they built a truck, or sorry, not a truck, a car for Joe Rogan, the comedian.
Okay.
So it's a weird spiral of friends here. On a whim, we decided to drive 17 hours all day yesterday. We got here at 2 a.m. and we're going to go see Dave Chappelle and Joe Rogan do a comedy show at Stubbs Barbecue, especially because our friends from the Roadster Shop are here. And I've got a ton of friends here too. I didn't really realize. So this is the first thing we've done since we've been, we haven't done quarantining. Anything. So,
yeah.
But we've been in a bubble together, working every day, and this is totally new for us. But we're walking in the hotel with our masks on and things like that, and just trying to figure everything out as we go. It's just it's wild.
Isn't it weird? It's like, I know that's kind of been, a theme over the past almost a year now, just to say, this is so weird and can't wait to get back to normal. But here's the thing, like, you guys have pretty much finished a record during a pandemic, right? So like, there are things in all of our lives that we don't want to kick to the curb just because it happened during the pandemic. Like, some good things have happened, right?
That's a fair point. Yeah, I mean, just because of the pandemic doesn't mean you don't want to do it. And I mean, we're trying to do what we're supposed to be doing, whatever that is.
Trying to be safe.
Yeah, and trying to encourage other people to do the same thing. But people have to work. People have to do stuff.
Yeah, dude.
And they are. And I think everyone's just doing the best they can with whatever it is. And we're doing that same thing. And admittedly, we're branching out because we figure we're smart people. We can do things right. And that's what we're doing. So, but it is so different. It's just so different doing normal things. Yeah.
That is probably also a common theme, when you're doing, these interviews for the new record. You said you originally were going to drop the record this past summer?
Yeah.
We wanted to, yeah. We were pushing for that.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the year, it didn't feel right. And then it started getting settled in. And then we're talking to some of our camp, and they're like, if you sit on this too long, I mean, you can't really wait until everything's back to normal, because we don't know when that is. And I was like, yeah. And then we just hit some, differing opinions on when it should come out. We tried to push it along, but we hit roadblocks. We just felt like it was a benefit to get it out there, because the longer we sit on it, the more we want to change it then. So we want to actually move on to the the next one as well, while we're doing quarantining. So we want to continue working. This one has to come out soon. So it is soon.
It's got to be frustrating because, what you guys do as a band is you present it, right? The single, and we start playing it at radio, and then you release the record and you tour. So like with that big fat question mark, it's hard, right? Because your bags probably are packed and ready to go, but what in the hell, what does that look like to you? And I know you're sick of answering that question, but like we're all so damn hungry to see a live concert, right?
Yeah, I mean, for us is a big part of it. But most of this album was finished. It was so early on. In fact, we finished it pretty much March 2020. Then we had mixing and things to do, but it's been sitting. And how an album works is, of course, you write it, you record it, then you play it. So until you can play it, you haven't finished that major 1/3 of it. And we're from Illinois, from the Chicago area, and Illinois is in a very different place with all of this stuff. So we don't, our restaurants and things aren't open. So there's not a lot of stuff to do. So you're just at home a lot, the exception of work. And it's just that part of it's very different. And going back to that, yeah, but with being able to play the music, that very important part is not happening. So we're waiting for it to happen. I mean, we're hoping July. We have some festivals scheduled, and we're hoping that those festivals happen.
And all we can do right now to support bands like you guys, buy the music, hell, buy merch and t-shirts, because we can't buy a ticket right now.
Yeah, I mean, we're just resting,
Yeah.
I mean, one of our friends said, I can't do nothing and I can't get nothing done. And it just fit perfectly. And
yeah. Well, I've described it as trying to swim upstream all year. 2020 was that. And I'm not sitting here saying poor me. I'm saying that like you said, we're in the same boat. But swimming upstream, meaning like, okay, what are we going to do today? Well, what can we do? Well, we can't even get together with our bass player, play a set because he's out in LA. Okay, can I do an acoustic song and put it on YouTube? All right, let's do that.
Sure.
Okay, so I did that. So I did that twice, released a new song, acoustic version. So we did that twice, and then people are like, what else you can, and they're like, well, all right, the record art is done, the lyrics are done, everything's ready to go now. So now we're sitting here just watching the news like everyone else saying, okay, so can we keep swimming upstream? And then he texts me and he's like, let's go to Austin on a whim. Our friends are there.
Yeah.
Let's do something fun and out of the norm for us.
Yeah.
And
we did.
And it's got to be it's a little liberating in a way, because my wife and I haven't gotten on an airplane. The last place we went was Nashville. Our first time in Nashville was early February of last year. And dude, it was spectacular. And then 2 weeks later, they had that tornado rip through, and then COVID started. So like we haven't been anywhere. So it's got to be pretty damn cool to get out of Illinois, right?
Just out of your routine. And like we're just sitting resting. And what I mean by resting isn't that we're resting. We just are. It's like the band is just sitting, just waiting, and there's nothing else you can do. You can't force it. And we keep trying to force it, and it's like, there's nothing you can do about it. So I'm sure it's going to come back around. And the other thing is, you can't say, I feel like I don't even know what else to say.
Who else? Who's your bass player?
We have a guy named Kemble Walters from a band that we brought out on tour a few times.
Yeah.
Super energetic dude and talented guy. Super cool to hang out with.
This is my job. It's the only job I've ever had is being on the air, but I'm also a fan, and I've been a fan. I Get It from Venus Era is my all-time favorite. So
Thanks.
Love that.
You still play that a lot.
It's
cool.
What I like about it is it just starts. Like right when it starts, you're all in with lyrics and boom, right off the whip. And I always like that. It's not so normal,
Funny story about that.
It's got 4 choruses too, which is unique. It works for a radio song for sure. But it's not easy to do. It just kind of happened that way, didn't it? It just ended up that way.
Yeah.
But dude, we honestly we were basically brainwashed into what's the next album? Like, okay, without going too deep, we put out too many records, too much music, too quick.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, have favorites. That's great. A lot of people don't even know that we're still a band. we'll run into people and they're like, oh yeah, we're a fan. Oh yeah, I know the Red. That's what
Really?
comes up. Oh yeah. All across the world, you're like, oh, well, we did like, this is our 9th full length with
Yeah, and they won't
with
even.
a full length B-sides, which I consider a full length album because it's 12
Yeah.
tracks I had to write.
Yeah,
So
dude.
it's 10 albums. So just getting the word out past a certain point
Yeah.
has been really difficult in our career.
That is so weird to hear. I mean, yeah, you've been away from music for a minute and haven't dropped a record, but and this kind of gets back to what I was saying. It's like fans of music get set on autopilot. Okay, I want a record every 2.5 to 3 years from my favorite band. And when you get outside of those lines, dude, you're saying your fans are telling you they don't even know you're a band anymore.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily
That is nuts.
fans that keep
Yeah.
up. It's not them. It's the ones that were, I know you're a band from the early 2000s.
Okay.
You started. So yeah, it whatever that is. But
Interesting.
I think that, look, it's been 5 years in between the North Corridor and this one.
Yep.
We didn't want it to be that way, but COVID hit and and that's how it turned out. But just saying that if we have more time, the music is better at the end.
Yeah.
So I think that's my regret, is that we were shoveling these records out a little too quick based on management pushing us. We're no longer with that management. So we have a little more freedom and a little more clear thinking, and hopefully the music reflects that. So we're happy, we're excited about that. Especially the this album's, it's really 12 tracks. It says 13, but you'll see. It's got some weird stuff going on in there.
I am not a fan of this question I'm going to ask you because it's low-hanging fruit. It's will you pronounce a new fucking record?
Oh yeah. It's called Neurodius.
Neurodius. That's all you had to say, and I'll never ask again but I'm looking at it and I hate to ask. It's a rookie ass question.
No,
I'm not a rookie, but if I don't
No.
ask, then I can't deliver it on the radio, right?
I think that's kind of a thing we've done. We had Venus Syrup. People were like, "How do you say that?"
Sure.
You know, we had Lagagola, which is not easy to say as well sometimes.
La Gargola.
Yeah, a lot of people would say it that way.
I've probably said that back in the day.
That's okay too.
But I mean, look,
Neurodius.
in this day and age, you're like trying to sum up, 10, 12 songs after you're done, and it's not easy to do. And then you Google search, oh, did somebody use Planet 9? Yeah. Oh yeah, everybody used Planet 9. So we're sitting here one day, and management's like, okay, we need a title. And I'm like, I know, it's coming. I have like a list of 50. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh man, I'm watching a lot of simulation theory on YouTube clips. And I'm like, all right, we should just let it as real, and this is a simulation. And they were like, yeah. Sam's like, yeah, okay. And then and we made that into an acronym. Neurodius. There you go.
No way, dude.
Yeah. So that's how it came about. You'll see there's a lot of spacey theme.
Well, the video.
Yeah, right.
You're in a tunnel. Where was that tunnel, dude?
And so this tunnel was actually down the street from his house in what was that? Not the Park District, but
yeah, we won't say that. Say it's around.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, we kind of had to shoot it really loosely, some permits, some not permits, that kind of stuff, and just kind of ask for forgiveness situation.
Yeah. We should talk about the truck though. You wanted to talk about the truck.
Yeah.
Well, and Sam, I told your brother, my wife and I are in Logan Square right now.
Mm-hmm.
We're renting an Airbnb for
Nice.
a couple of months, just because we can do our job too anywhere. So it's really interesting to hear that, because when you see that, or you see a movie, and videos and movies are very similar, in your mind as a viewer, you're like, oh my God, where in the hell is this? So to hear it's just down the street, you can make magic anywhere. And I just love the artistic vibes that you guys have in and out of the studio, right? Because creative minds can go across the board, left and right, I believe. So
Yeah. I mean, the guys that we got to do this really had really good at their job. So they made a lot with very little.
Yeah.
If you have time, I absolutely want to talk about that truck, but I also have to talk about the last time, one of the last times that we saw you was before the Eagle was the Eagle. It was, or we were the Edge, and you guys played Edge Fest.
Mhm.
And what I love about a Chevelle show, and I've seen, you know, I used to work at a radio station, Planet Radio in Jacksonville, and I worked at DC 101 and a bunch of stations. So seen you all over. But for first time Chevelle fans, you guys are a hard ass rock band. I mean, you just drill it in concert. And I don't know what in the hell was up with Dean's instrument, but at the end of the set, my man jams it into his amp and walks off stage. And I'm like, I don't know if there was a problem with that, but it was awesome.
He probably just walked away and it's like, good show, guys.
Yeah. Do your guitar techs or your roadies ever just be like, hey man, we don't have a backup today? Does that ever happen?
This happens.
Yeah. It's so funny. There's so much shit I want to tell you right now, but I can't.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, you know what? We were on our drive here and we were listening. Sam was listening to the North Corridor for some reason.
No,
the
I
song
just
came
I
on.
just plugged my phone into my car and that album opened up and it opened up.
Oh yeah,
with,
probably because when you're mixing, you kind of compare to your last and things
Yeah.
like that. That's probably what. But
and it was the second song on that album.
Enemies or whatever, and it was like, holy, I was like reminded, because I don't listen to my own music. I was like reminded of how what a different place I was in 5 years ago.
It was
when we were
so
recording.
heavy.
It was more. We were leaning, really going for the metal tone. I was listening to a lot of Mastodon and Ministry and things like that, and I was like, let's just go for it. And that song, I mean, that album probably, I know it had some songs at radio, but it must have been a bitch to try and get that much screaming on the radio. Which is cool. I think it's cool, but yeah, this one is a little more melodic. It's going backwards a little bit towards like the Wonder What's Next vibe, which was sort of, you know, not as aggressive, but more melodic.
Less
and,
screaming, more melody.
Yeah, I mean, it has its heavy points, as you can hear in Self-Destructor and the bridge. And but the next single is going to be a banger.
Yeah.
We can't wait to hear that on the radio.
I can't wait to just buy this damn record, put some money in your pocket, of course, and support music that I like. And you know, you're talking about more melodic, and when you get to the bridge in Self-Destructor, and it's like, you know, that song starts, and by the time you get to the bridge, I'm like, oh, okay, so they got this, they still got this. And I just love that edge about Chevelle, is that you can be melodic, you can marinate for a couple of minutes or whatever on a song, and then you just bring it, just as a reminder to us, like, oh shit, look at this, you know. Being brothers, I gotta ask, because I'm the youngest of three, and we'll wrap this up, but what happens when Sam and Pete get into an argument?
I mean, we argue.
Do you get into it?
It
And
doesn't,
We
you
don't.
know, it doesn't last more than a day typically.
okay, I
Yeah.
just wonder that, because I have brothers too.
Well,
Yeah.
in a very boring way, it's kind of boring, but the truth is that we know that we can get really mad about something. You can take it all the way till you're just like want to punch each other.
Yeah.
But we don't. You have to literally don't do that. It's
Okay.
like, all right, I really don't like what you said right now, and I'm gonna kill you. But let's just talk this out and let's figure it out. You have to always be open that you're wrong, or that the other person has a better idea than you. You have to always be considering that.
Okay.
And that's the only way we can get through this, because when we go to the wall over something,
Yeah.
that'll be the end.
Yeah, I mean, it's clear that we've had, you know, other issues with other family members throughout the band's career. And we know how volatile it can get.
Yeah.
You know, and so we just never take it that far.
Yeah.
We never have. I mean,
Yep.
not saying we like we've never gone to blows over it, right?
No, and I guess I'm not, you know, I don't want to dig anything up like that, but with my brothers, dude, I went 1 year, my brother Jeff lives in Elmhurst, and we went 7 years without talking because I didn't make his 40th birthday party. I couldn't make it. I couldn't make it. And so he was pissed, but we're not in business together like you guys are. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't work together, but that's how you guys make a living, and you have careers, and Chevelle's a business, man.
We haven't spoken to our brother in 16 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
16 years. I don't miss him.
yeah.
I have a lot of questions about that. None of my business. And
I mean, there's not
that's
much to tell. Unfortunately,
He quit like 3 or 4 times, and then
okay.
and then at the last time he took a train home from a tour, and he was like, "Well, I guess this is it." He quit and took a train. We flew home,
he literally said, "I quit.
and then the next time we spoke, he was like, "Blah blah blah. No, I don't
quit."
I don't quit." And I was like, "Too bad."
Yeah.
Times the charm. So
Well,
what are
it
you
was-
gonna do?
It was so bad that what we actually said was, when he said, "I don't quit," we actually said, "All right, well, look, we're going to go do this 6-week tour. You're unhappy. We're not getting along. We're going to have someone else do this tour. And then we'll see where it stands after that." Because what he said to us was, "I don't quit, but what I do want is for you to get somebody else to fill in for me to do the shows that I don't want to do." He didn't want to fly anymore, and he didn't want to go to Europe and things like that. So he said, "Shows I don't want to do, get somebody else to do them, but I want to do the shows I want to do." And we were like, "No, either you're in or you're out."
That's a tough prospect for you guys to face.
Yeah. So we said, "We're either in or you're out." And he was like, "Well, no, you can't tell me that." So we were like, "Okay, well, what do you want to do? Are you in or are you out?" He said, if you don't let me come back, I'm going to tell everyone that you fired me." And we said, "All right, fine." That was it.
Let's look towards March 5th and the latest iteration of your band. Man, I cannot wait to see you guys perform it.
Yeah, we're
Hell
excited
yeah,
too.
us too.
I'm
Yeah, we're like everybody
super,
else. We just want to work. So
yeah.
if you can't,
Probably been a minute since you've been either on a bus or packed bag for an airplane ride, man. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, since March 18th.
I don't miss planes. Like, that's my favorite part of touring, airplanes.
No,
No.
A little cocktail, relax, watch.
Come
a movie.
on, bro. That sounds like the perfect
I like
picture you
that
just
part.
painted.
I like that
Yeah.
part. That's true. I do like the cocktail in the movie. You know, it does feel like the airplane's the only place you can turn your phone off and feel okay about it. Like no one can get a hold of you. Well, I
Yeah.
couldn't get a hold of you. The whole world was ending. Well, I was on a plane. What do you want?
Yeah, that was nice.
Neuradius.
Neuradius.
Gentlemen, I can't wait to do it in person and maybe raise a beer in honor of the next record. And man, we're not that far away.
Yeah,
Hell
we're
yeah.
excited too.
It'd be cool. So thanks for your time and
Yeah,
safe
thanks,
travels back home.
Yeah, anytime.